Hey, how's it going? Welcome back or welcome. So in my last video, I talked about colors to replace your black with and how to sort of get out of the habit or the default mode of pairing every color with just black. And this got me thinking about the opposite side of the perspective, which is how do you then only wear black and still stay stylish? Because I think wearing all black is one thing. I mean, everybody can do it, but looking good and stylish in all black and really owning your all black outfit can be a totally different game. And with that said, I want to start with talking about why would one choose to wear all black and only black? And I think there can be many reasons for this choice. Some are more practical and others are more of a stylistic choice. Simplicity, for instance, is a great practical reason to wear all black because you don't really have to think about any other colors or color combinations when you're putting an outfit together, and that just simplifies your decision-making process. I mean, if you're drawn to building a capsule wardrobe, then simplicity is likely a major reason why you want to build a capsule wardrobe, and choosing an all-black theme can help you achieve that simplicity. Some other practical reasons might also include not having to worry about stains as much, especially if you are as clumsy as I am. And laundry might be a little bit easier because everything you're washing is the same color. Now, apart from these practical reasons, the other main pillar of why one might choose to wear only black, like I said, it's a stylistic choice and it's about making a statement because black is seen as such a classic, sophisticated, elegant and authoritative color, and we can't deny that there's this automatic chic and coolness factor added with an all-black outfit. And depending on the specific styles of clothes, it might even help indicate your interest in certain subcultures. Some people also believe that wearing all black can be a way of hiding or trying to blend in, but from my own experience, I can't really agree with that comment because I feel like every time I wore an all-black outfit, and these are situations outside of when I need to wear all black as a uniform. So when I do it purely by choice, I feel like I actually get more comments from people about my outfit. And these comments are usually layered with a hint of sarcasm, like, ooh, somebody's trying to look serious today, or are you trying to go for a theme? Like, is goth the aesthetic for the day? So I don't really know if I can agree that wearing all black is a way of blending in, but it might also have to do with how I styled my all black outfits, because for me, what I'm drawn to about wearing all black is the emotional aspect and the dark mood that's created by it. There's this sense of mystery that's evoked. And that feeling of darkness is something I've always been drawn to, and a sense of mystery is actually something that I'm trying to hone in my own style right now. But I think this is also exactly what draws some people away from wearing all black. And that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is if wearing all black has so many advantages, then why aren't more people choosing to do so? And like I said, I think the emotional factor is huge because it might just not simply match some people's personality or preferences. Like if you have a really bubbly personality, or if you're naturally drawn to bright and vibrant colors and you want to express that side of you through your style, wearing all black might just seem too boring and monotone. Or if you're trying to express more softness or femininity through your style, an all black outfit might seem a bit too serious or harsh. I think environment can be another big reason. Like if you live in a region where you have hot climate all year round, then wearing all black just might not be the most practical choice for you. But here's the hot take. I think that the more discreet reason as to why some people might stay away from wearing all black could stem from a sense of insecurity, because it's actually trickier than people think to make an all black outfit look really good. Because like I said, everybody can wear black. There's nothing stopping people from doing that. But owning your all black outfit is a different game. it requires more effort and mindful curation than people think, and it might even come hand in hand with a certain attitude. Now, as somebody who's worked in the service industry for a long time, I've both unintentionally and intentionally worn many all-black outfits in the past. And also, as a style enthusiast, I've always tried to figure out how to make wearing all black feel less like I work at a restaurant. I did work at a restaurant, but I wanted my outfits to feel like they're more than a uniform. You know, I wanted to get off my shift and still be able to go out, maybe to a different restaurant, and not look like I also worked at that other restaurant. You know what I mean? And from that experience, what I found is that by far, the easiest way to add more interest to an all-black outfit is by using your skin more strategically. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but just hear me out. This might sound really obvious, but because black is such a dark, dense and intense color, it can easily appear heavy and weigh you down. And I found that showing just a little bit more skin can actually make a huge difference. So I would always opt for a deeper neckline instead of just a regular crew neck, or a more interesting neckline like off-shoulder or asymmetrical. I generally try to avoid turtlenecks altogether, but especially when it comes to black, a deeper neckline is something I would always opt for. And if the weather allows, I try to go for something sleeveless or short sleeve instead of a long sleeve, or even when it's colder outside, going for a 3/4 sleeve instead of a full sleeve to show a little bit of the wrist can make a difference. And it's great for showing your accessories if you wear a watch or bracelets or bangles. Something I've talked about many times before is how using a sheer fabric can be a way to soften the harshness of black because of the skin showing through underneath. And that helps with creating a lighter grayish tone, which can also add more visual interest to your all black outfit. And with that said, using different tones of black is also a great way to add more depth to your all black outfits. I mean, if you think about it, there's so many different shades of black you can play with. You can use sheer materials like I talked about, or you can use a more washed fabric that has a slightly lighter tone to the black, which leads me to talking about using different fabrics. I think using different types of fabric is the most obvious way to add a variety of tones and also add more texture to your outfit. For example, materials like leather, silk, or satin adds a sheen to the fabric, and using velvet can add a dense, matte, and soft quality to the look. And lace can also add more tones depending on the sheerness, and the pattern can add more visual interest as well. So matching different types of fabrics automatically adds more depth when it comes to tone and texture to your outfit than if you were to use cotton on cotton. Another easy way to add texture is to look for small details. So the design of the pockets, or the size or the material of the buttons, ruching in the fabric, fringes, pleats, embossing. There's just so many ways these little details can add more interest to a basic black garment or an outfit. Layering can be another way to add texture, although it's probably somewhat weather dependent. You know, on very hot days, it might not be so ideal, but again, you can choose different fabrics to layer with more intention. Now, if you're not a fan of layering like me, I usually like to keep things pretty simple, then adjusting the proportions and the fit is gonna play a more important role. And I think the easiest way that has the biggest impact on the overall look is using a statement piece. So instead of wearing a basic piece with another basic piece, you could opt to have one of the pieces with a little twist. So you can have something very oversized or an interesting graphic detail. Although if you're trying to implement these tips for a uniform, that might not always be allowed. But you could always go for like a small design detail. A detail that I personally really like that I would consider as a basic with a twist is an open bag. I just love the subtle sexiness and the unexpected aspect of it. It looks basic from the front, but then from the back, it automatically looks far more interesting. And I've just been a long time fan of this little detail. Speaking of statements, we can't forget talking about accessories. And this includes not only your jewelry, hats, bags, shoes, etc., but also your hair and makeup. Especially since black is such an intense color, I really think that makeup makes such a huge difference in ensuring that the overall look appears more put together and polished. Same thing with the hair. I think that Rosé is such a great example of somebody that does all black outfits really well, even though her color season is light autumn. And a big part of that is the pale blonde hair, not creating a huge contrast against the pale skin, but it does create a very big statement against the all black outfit, and it just works. I also think using a pop of color in your accessories like your hats or shoes is such a good detail. I know we're talking about all black outfits here, but there is a difference between just picking a random color and then choosing to wear black with it because you don't know what else would go with that outfit versus wearing an all black outfit and choosing to add a pop of color with your accessories intentionally. I think the latter looks so much more chic and thoughtful. So that was a bunch of tips and ideas on how to make your all black outfits feel less boring. And I'm sure that a lot of these sound pretty obvious, you've definitely heard them before. But I actually think that when it comes to wearing all black, the most important thing, more so than fabric or texture or statement pieces or whatnot, is asking yourself, what is the statement that I'm actually trying to make? Because wearing all black can look classic. It can also look minimal or modern. You could go the avant-garde route, or it can also come across as grunge or gothic or emotional. Like there's actually so many different vibes that you can create with just wearing black. So it's not as simple as it seems or as people make it to be. And I think this is where the difference between wearing all black and owning your all black outfit comes from. It comes from having an understanding of what is the vibe that I'm trying to emote, or what exactly am I trying to say about my style through my outfit? Because by sticking to only wearing black, we're stripping away some of the visual elements naturally. And by doing so, the statement that you're trying to make just becomes more streamlined and pronounced. So being clear with your intention and the message that you're trying to convey just becomes that much more important. And I think outfits that show that level of clarity is what exemplifies that feeling of owning your outfit. This is actually something that I've been trying to achieve with my own style, that level of clarity in my message. And it can obviously apply to whether you're wearing only black or wearing all sorts of colors. But I hope this gives you a bit of food for thought that maybe you didn't think about before. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay unique and stay gorgeous.